We are gonna skip any fancy intros and try to make this video a little not so darn long because there's gonna be a few parts anyways. Well, first thing we gotta do now before we get over into our case labs case building, which we will be in a few weeks to a month or so here. It'll be a little while, but before we get into that, we got to make sure we maintain the PC we have right now. This build, if you guys remember, is from way long ago. And it's the current build that I've been running 24/7 for a year plus now, maybe a year and a half. And as you can see, my coolant is starting to break down. And this might be a problem with the tubing. I don't really think it's a problem with the coolant, but it might be a problem with the tubing. I'm not sure. But let me zoom in here so you can see the coolant, how it's turned. It's supposed to be orange. It's turned like that now. So it just started like the last week, and I almost didn't catch it really. So my camera, it looks clear, but I hope you guys can see. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna start draining this thing so we can prepare to change the coolant. I'm probably not gonna change it to any kind of fancy color. The store only has black tubing available, so black tubing is what's going in. I'm gonna pick it up, and we're gonna go ahead and get this thing drained. All right, you see now, we are back. We are bleeding the loop. You can see that we're bleeding the loop now. So it looks a little hazy in there. I'm very shocked at how clean this came out without that much trouble. You see over there, see how clean that tube is. And remember how it looked just a little bit ago. You saw how bad it looked. You have to excuse the lighting issues here. And bring it over here to the side, okay? Pause that a bit. And now we have our loop. It's getting clean here. I'm actually running the system prep, which comes in your case of primal chill tubing. So I know some of you guys have seen it. Some of you guys probably throw it to the side because you have your own other methods. So I'm gonna bring it into the camera here. It's a primal chill system prep. There we go. Sys prep by primal chill. It comes with every package of tubing, whole package tubing they sell, not the one that comes already cut, but the ones that come in the actual primal chill box tubing. You'll get that small bottle of system prep, and you mix it into a gallon of deionized or distilled water, and you run it for 12 hours. So I'm a few hours into say about a couple hours into the 12-hour run. So later tonight, I'll flush it out. And what I'm actually gonna do is, because I need my system back up, really. I already have the cable managed and everything. I'll show you that a little later. But I will go ahead and I'm gonna button up everything. I'm gonna go ahead and close up the case a bit and get the system up, get some things set up on my boot drive and all that, and I'll come back to you again and show you both the cable management and the finished running system. So I'll be back in a little while, well, in a few seconds for you, but it's going to be more than a day or so for me.
All right, here's the system complete. Yeah, it's gonna be a little dusty still. I haven't taken that much time to truly spick and span the whole system. Just didn't have time for all that. It's been a little while now, been about a week. Went to some events. I do some shooting, anime Matsuri and all that. I got videos in the chamber here coming up, so I had a lot to do. But if you're seeing here, you're seeing that the system came out very clean. It's very simple now because there's only one radiator in there, just the top radiator. I took out the bottom Alpha Cool Rad and went ahead and placed this Bits Power reservoir and the pump right beneath it. at the bottom. That was my phone, if you heard that. At the bottom of the system here, at the bottom of the case, and it looks a lot cleaner. It's a lot easier on cable management without those extra 3 fans down there and the wires running all over the place. I was able to take out a lot of wires and a lot of stuff that I didn't use, such as all the lighting is pretty much gone. I never used it. It didn't really stand out or help at all with the design. It just made for more clutter. If you notice, there's this cable here for the pump that's actually sitting on top of the drives that you just saw there, and that just makes it easier for me to unplug the pump. And when I was bleeding the loop, so it made it easier for me to just unplug the cable and plug it into my alternate power supply. But I really liked how it turned out. You see the coolant is nice and clear. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I did that. When we go back around the back area, I'm going to go ahead and show you the cable management and talk about my little process for cleaning the loop and getting it back good here. So let's get to that. Okay, this is the cable management. Not going to be back here too long. Just want to show you guys around so you can see what I did to clean up the cables and how I got the door to actually close, because that's the biggest, pretty much the end goal of the cable management, is to just get the door to close properly. It actually wasn't so bad. I actually didn't need to use too many of my little extra cable hooks and cable tie things that you see stuck all around the back of the case here. Like I said, a lot of the extra wires I used to have due to the lighting and the extra radiator down below are now out, and I was able to get a much cleaner look this way. So I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And this is that's the back. That's pretty much how it went. I want to talk a little bit about the cleaning process. What you see in front of you is the alpha cool rad that was in the bottom of the system before the redo, before I changed it up a bit. And behind it you see distilled water. Now, let me adjust the camera a little bit just to bring it a bit more into view. No, we'll like it like that. Okay. And pretty much what happened here is, what I did is I used regular tap water. Actually, in actuality, I used the water out the pipe that's outside my home. There's a little pipe out there, which is what you usually hook a water hose up to. I used that, and I was putting it into the radiator, filling it up and shaking it. This is a technique I picked up from Singularity Computers. He always talks about how he flushes his rads. He just fills it with the tap water and shakes it. Same thing. I fill the radiator to the top, kept dipping it back so that it can go to the back end tank over here, and start shaking it up. And I did that for 10 minutes, if not a little longer, with the water coming out straight out the pipe from outside my home. And then I filled it with the distilled water here a few times and shook it up just to get that distilled water in there, trying to get a lot of that tap water, any various chemical stuff, try and flush that out, or at least try to kill it a little bit with the distilled water, try and dilute it, I should say. So I filled it right up, because you really want, especially if you're not going to use the rad immediately, you want the last liquid that's been in the radiator to be the distilled water, the water that's not gonna mess up the radiator over time, and it should be just fine if you know you're not going to use it for a little bit. Or if you're about to use it in your system, then you definitely, once again, you still want the distilled water to be the last thing that hits the radiator before you put whatever coolant or inside there when you put it into your system, what have you. So this rad has been flushed out, and the Phobia rad that's in the top there, the Phobia 3x140 rad that's in the top of the system now, was flushed out the same way. That's how I did it. Pretty simple. I didn't use any special things, didn't buy any special chemicals or stuff like that. I just used the distilled water and tap water, and it was able to do just fine. The blocks, I did not flush the blocks separately. I waited until I got the radiators clean, and then I used the clear coolant. I used the treatment from the Primal Chill, and that's, let me start moving it out of the shot. I used the Primal Chill treatment that I showed you earlier, the system prep, and I just ran that about 2 or 3 times actually in the loop, and that was enough. So it got the blocks clean. The blocks did not stain or to the point where they were actually messing with the loop. I couldn't tell, because when it comes to the graphic card blocks, you really don't want to pull them apart unless you absolutely have to. They get real funny about that, and it's a kind of a mess. That's what I've been reading around online when you do that. Some of them is not so bad. Others, yeah, it could be a pain. So I didn't bother trying to pull my blocks apart. I just flushed them out. The CPU block was stained, so I switched it back over to my EK block, because the CPU block is transparent, and I didn't want anyone to have to see that red dye that was stained in there. So I just switched it out. I didn't feel like pulling it apart just yet. I didn't have the tools, to be quite honest. That's the reason why I didn't use the CPU block. I didn't have the tool, the small enough hex to pull it apart. So that's all I want to say. Now let's go ahead and just wrap this up. Alright, you guys have seen the system. You see my process of how I cleaned it up, cable managed it, and all that good stuff. Now it's time to get back to gaming here. And you know, I got Elder Scrolls Online, I got Guild Wars 2 stuff to get back to. So of course I gotta run my Unigine Valley to make sure my temps are right. And I couldn't even get the darn video cards to get over 50 Celsius, so that's pretty good. I also, of course, I gotta get back to watching anime, and I'm also gonna get back to pictures and filming, because I just got 35mm, and I'm anxious to get out there and use as much as possible. So you guys have a good one. Check you later.